Hello everyone, and welcome to another Resonite recap stream. This is recapping the month of August-ish, like a little bit like extra, and we're gonna be going over all the cool stuff that happened in Resonite. I'm Fruxius, I'm here with Decoy, like you were asking who that is, because one of our latest additions to the marketing team. We have Nex, we have also Bob, like our finance officer, we have Aegis and Naru from the art team, and I think it's everyone. So let's get started. Before we actually get into all things, we usually go over the biggest things, like the most notable things that happened during the last month with Resonite, like with what's development, events, like community stuff, like a lot of kind of cool things happening. We've had 289 GitHub issues closed over past month, which indicates, stuff has been very busy. And there has been a reason why they were so busy. It's because this... What is taking a bit? The splitting has released. The splitting has exploded everybody's frame rates in a good way. The splitting, this is the biggest update we've done to date so far. It's also known as the big performance update, and it is the culmination of a lot of work that has been done to improve Resonite's performance significantly. There was a lot of preparatory work. We had to do the type system. We had to make our own particle system. We had to make our own audio system just to prepare everything for the splitting. And then we were able to actually implement it. What splitting did is we took Frux engine, which is running everything, it's updating everything, computing all the logic of things, and actually pulled it into its own process running under the modern .NET 9 runtime instead of running inside of Unity engine, which is the very old and crusty mono runtime to run the code. With Unity running as its own separate process and sort of just being directed by Frux engine on what stuff to render. With this change, this is architecturally a huge change, one that follows similar approach that web browsers actually do, and one that's been the biggest engineering project for Resonite. And it's bigger in multiple ways, because with the .NET 9 runtime, obviously the performance is drastically improved. Overall frame rates are higher. You can get depending on your hardware and depending on world, some things you get 2 to 3 times improvements. Some might be a bit less if it's for example more graphically intensive. Some things like particle systems, especially ones with collisions, you can see something 10 to 15 times improvement. There's also a lot of improvement to loading times, those have been drastically improved. Worlds that would take several minutes to load can now load within seconds. And it's not just the overall frame rate. One thing we've had as a feedback from the community is that the frame rate itself is a lot smoother as well. So generally, the stutters, whenever they happen, they feel a lot better than they did before. But also in most cases, they're actually eliminated. There's been a lot of cases where things would cause hitches and stutters, and a huge majority of them are now completely gone. And the ones that remain generally feel a lot better. So it's a lot of improvement across the board. We've heard a lot of positivity. We had a lot of people mention to us, that when they run on older hardware, especially one where Resonite was completely unplayable for them, that Resonite is now actually usable. You can run it well on hardware like the Steam Deck. Previously, Resonite was also not a great experience on Steam Deck. Now it actually runs quite decently, and I've seen a lot of more people using it, to just play. I've been even doing that myself. So there's all just a general improvement in performance. We're very, very, very happy, and we're also very thankful to everyone's support to be able to implement this huge update, because big part is thanks to all the people that supported us on Patreon and Stripe, because it helps fund the development. When we released the update, everybody's name who contributed to Resonite that's been listed out as part of the update, because that was a really, really big one. There's another group that I would like to thank as part of that, is everyone who helped us the pre-release, because we ran, I think it's about a month or two in the pre-release stage, where we were fixing a lot of bugs, issues, crashes, and other things, just to make sure that the release is as smooth as it can be. And when the splitting actually released, like I kind of expected more bugs to happen, like more issues, and it was actually relatively smooth. So big thanks to everyone who helped make this release to be as smooth as it was, and help us catch a lot of the like issues and bugs. There's other parts of this because I mentioned earlier this update is big in more ways than one. And obviously the performance improvements are huge because that's been one of our major problems. That's one of the reasons we did it in the first place, is because you as a community, when we did a survey, you made it clear that like performance is the number one biggest issue with Resonite. But the improvements actually go way beyond that, because we are now able to use the .NET 9 runtime. We are now able to use more modern libraries. We can update, for example, the latest version of Beppu physics. We are looking into using libraries like SoundFlow or image libraries that we are not able to use before because they require the modern runtime. And we're also able to use more modern features of the programming languages to implement additional optimizations, improve the quality of the code, and just generally have like much better framework to work with. The new system also allows us to use modern profiling tools, modern debugging tools that make it much easier to develop Resonite going forward. So there's huge improvements in the general kind of quality for development of Resonite itself, and now we are able to use the latest technologies available to us. One of the cool things also is like coming this November, Microsoft is going to be updating the .NET framework from .NET 9 to .NET 10, and it has a number of additional performance improvements. So once it releases, we'll actually be able to switch to it and essentially get additional free performance gains. And that's pretty much going to happen every year because the .NET versions release yearly. The other cool thing, we also seen like a lot of like great engagement, is it doing the splitting, because it separates the render into its own process and makes a very clear communication protocol between our main engine and the render. We've already seen the community starting make custom renders. I know like there's like one in Godot, actually maybe two, and like a few others. And it's actually something we plan to do officially as well, where we eventually will replace Unity completely with like a different renderer that's going to provide additional performance improvements, and also will let us implement features like custom shaders and other cool things that we're still like not able to do because of Unity. So the splitting itself, it's also a big step towards that. So this is pretty much like a big milestone for Resonite, and sort of almost feels like, like it's opening a whole new chapter of its development. So we are very excited, and we are very thankful for everybody who helped us get to this stage. We're still kind of doing a little bit of like cleanup with it as well. There's some like additional kind of like bug fixes, like stability improvements. There's also some like additional performance improvements, mostly kind of smallish ones, just being able to like use like more modern like parts of the runtime. So there's gonna be a period like where we do a bit more cleanup before we move to next major next major focus. But soon we will be deciding like what's gonna be the next next big thing we're gonna be working on. But overall, we're very happy like with this planning. It seems like everybody in the community is as well. And if you haven't checked Resonite in a long while, this is a really good point to give it another try, because like it should perform like much better on your like hardware. But we can now move to the next topic, which is improvements from the art team. And there's actually a number of cool things there, with the first one being the avatar respect system. So, Decoy, would you be able to tell us a little bit about that one?
Yes, I absolutely can. But hi, hello. I and a few other people who have been helping and been very helpful have been working on this rest pack system. This is what you'll see, hopefully, when we get more rest packs in here. So this is an avatar by Kudalin. Wonderful, beautiful bird here. You can see all the details, all the feathers. Oop, I grabbed my table. And the idea is that instead of, getting a model file and bringing in all the textures and stuff. You just have the avatar here, and then you've got all your settings right here, and you can just change it from here. Let's say I want a long tail. Of course I do. I want more feathers. Yeah, I want a peacock head. And you can do that all from here instead of opening an inspector to do it. And then you've got your textures. Of course, you can change those. Why not? And then you also have add-ons in case you want to add a flight system or any of the systems, such as a grabbable that a lot of people have on their avatar in here. So this would be a way easier way to get your avatar set up in here. And I would also like people to make these with these ResPack systems. This is why we've also added it in the Resonite Essentials folder. So you can go ahead and start making one. I would much appreciate it. Thank you. That is all.
Yep. You can also find it in Resonite Essentials Tools Custom. And that's where you can
custom
spawn it out
folder.
from. Yeah.
Yeah, this is very exciting, and this is like another great thing that like will help like people getting onboarding with Resonite, because oftentimes we hear like setting up one's avatar, that also tends to be like a barrier, and the work like the team has done on the SPAC system that's gonna help that a lot and make it much simpler for people that get their avatars in. The next thing we have is the asset painter tool. So Aegis, would you be able to tell us about that
Yes.
one?
So, right next to the tool that is for the ResPack system is this Asset Painter tool. Now, what this does, it's a way where you can, say you're trying to make a scene like this world here, and you want to place around all the plants, furniture, rocks, and you're wanting to basically paint them around. This pretty much goes around and paints these assets wherever you want it. And you can open up a menu here and choose where to parent these assets under, what kind of assets you want to use, and you can even also use this little orb here to click and open a grabbable receiver surface. And say if I place I'll make a cube here, real quick.
Why did you take this?
Oh, that'll work too. So it's under here. I'm gonna just shrink that there, and then click Use Orb Slot Asset Tool. With a point, boom. Of course, I accidentally spawned more than one, but I can also change those placement settings. Oh, here you go. For example, I can have an area of those, and I can place them all around in that specific area or volume. I can even place it using my eye tracking or head position or my other hand, with settings like random rotation and scale of each object as well. There. Let me kind of reset the settings here. There we go. Yeah.
It seems like it'll be extremely useful.
Oh yeah. This is a really cool tool. It's actually fun because like a few days ago there were like some people like talking in Discord, about their Resonite tools, and one of the point like we kind of raised this, you can, with the power of Resonite, you can actually make tools within the game engine that sort of like simplify a lot of the common processes, and like I feel like this is an excellent example where it's very easy to use. You can just like place a lot of stuff. So this is like a great job on the tool.
I'll save a
very
lot of
early,
time.
Try to put,
a very early prototype of this was used in the first time when we worked on the Cloud Home and Tutorial World to place the plants. So now it's a proper polished tool.
anytime we make tools like that as well, we try to polish them up and then provide them for people to use. So like people can use the same tools that we're using to build maps. That way they can also make some nice places for people to hang out in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The more we improve our own workflow, the more we can share with the community to improve theirs, to improve the quality of the content that people make within the platform.
Yes, it's the power of Resonite. I mean, the big thing is being able to build tools and then share with others is very, very powerful.
Yeah.
We also have the standalone work control panel that's now available in Essentials. Are you able to tell us a little bit more about that one?
So within the Tutorial World, Cloud Home, and the Avatar Gazebo, all the lights, all the Yeah, all the lights and like functionality is all connected up in dynamic variables now, and you can use this panel to adjust like the color, adjust the sound effects for the doors for opening and closing, and each of the different light fixtures are set into different groups. So you can change like the lights
The
at the
color,
top,
toggle them on and off.
yeah.
And it's not connected to the world. They're using dynamic variables. So if you use the same variables in your world, you can just spawn the panel out and it'll work.
Mm-hmm. One of the things that hasn't been listed on here yet is we also went through and updated the default skybox. And that will have its own installer where people will be able to spawn out the installer and choose what they want of that skybox to keep. And then when you hit finish, it'll delete everything you don't want and then just set it as the main skybox. In regards of also with the platform being optimized, the next step is also, or in parallel, also having the content being optimized throughout the months leading up to it. Things like optimizing the materials, the meshes, the models, the protoflux, that too, yes, colliders, LODs. Basically, a ship of Theseus of like most of the worlds. Like the Avatar Gazebo is a new addition to these worlds, where it's a world that will be focused on beginners coming into the platform wanting to find an avatar. There's a few selection of avatars there, as well as more information of the of bringing in avatars or finding avatars is going to be there too. And one thing I'd like to also kind of lead into next is a big feature that we added to the dashboard in Resonite, which is the help tab. So I can grab it right here. Whoop. You've probably seen a couple of variations of this throughout the months, especially even on the art team office hours and on recap stream. It is now finally within your dashboard. Ever since the splitting, you'll be able to find out a lot of things for new users and lots of resources for existing users as well too.
And if you're in Resonite right now, you can just open up your dash and see it right there on your dashboard if you want to get a first-hand use of it.
Yep.
Yeah. There's like another excellent like thing like addition that this pairs like really well with the split name, because we are kind of expecting a lot of people to join in, and this is like a great help like to like help people kind of get started and be not be like that lost like when coming on the platform, because there's just a super quick access to it is on the dash, and it's very easy to like figure out how to do things. We've also done like a really great job on that.
And it's set up in a way where we can put in more information as time goes on. So if you have any recommendations for something that could be on there, just throw it into a GitHub issue and we can get it set up. They're also set up with locales, so they're translated by the community as well.
I was about to say, big thanks to the community as well for when we were working on it and when we are now releasing to help translate and also proofread it as well.
Yeah. There was like a number of people. There's also like a lot of streams, because I think I'm gonna go at it. It was like 500 like new keys
A lot.
for the locale. But like some of the community like they just like jumped on like translating and fixing up like issues with English locale too. So it's huge thanks to everyone who contributed as well.
Yes. Another kind of UI interface that was also made, or facet rather, is the Events tab, or Events facet. That is also right here too. Also got recently updated last night by Raivi. A bit more polish to it. This is now within the Essentials since Monday. There's a few updates since then, but as well as it will be in the Cloud Home as well as the Avatar Gazebo. Actually, it is in the Avatar Gazebo right now.
This is something people can put in their worlds, or they can put it in their dash, or even on their facet anchors, their hands or whatnot. And it will show you the times and dates of upcoming events. And I believe we can just add them with the Discord bot, right?
Yep, you can use the Discord bot, and there should have been an announcement on our Discord channel. And this is community-based events, and can also be official events that can be posted on there as well.
And Lexivo in the chat pretty much answered a question about like what kind of events are in here. It's a good question to kind of highlight real quick. This has both official events and community events that we go through and help set up in here. And to kind of also show here too. So if I open up a event, it'll showcase where it's happening and like the event that is from and a
Little
brief
description.
description of what it is and the time. It will highlight what is ongoing and it will show like what time it is on the right. And the website that'll show like where to submit these events is a little link right here, right next to the refresh button. That pretty much covers all of these stuff that we've been working on. There's a few more like tools that we've been working on here and there. Still got a bit more polish, including that one as well, the asset painter, but it's there for anybody to mess around with, use for their worlds. It is definitely something that's going to make making worlds much faster.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, get your community
Those are,
submitted
like,
in.
excellent updates.
Events.
It's gonna help like people figure out like what's good, like what's going on, what's going on. There's a night. There's more to come. So thank you very much for the updates. With this, we can move to the next topic, which is covering like some small kind of like improvements, additions, and so on. One of those actually being Resonite now has official Project Bubble support for face tracking. So if you use the Project Bubble, either like as like one of the kits or like you like made your own, it should now kind of work out of the box. I'm actually using it right now. I've DFG Hiatus, they've sent me like one of the kits and for the integration, and I've actually made it my like daily driver. I've been using the HTC facial tracker, but I really like the Project Bubble. But like because it's open source nature, and also just it works pretty well. Like I can make faces, I can do my bubbles. There's still like some improvements that need to be done, but generally it works out of the box. So if you have the Project Bubble application running, if it's on the default port, it should just straight up work. If it's on a different port, you might need to go into your settings and configure whatever port you configured it in. But overall, it should just work. Like once you have like avatar that's set up with facial tracking, Resonite sort of takes care of making things like just kind of work. So if you have like one like lying in a box, I've heard like from a few people they've been kind of like not like using one. This might be a good time to kind of get it out of the box or get one like for yourself as well, in case you want facial tracking and you want something that's more kind of like open and kind of like sustainable in long term. The other thing that's notable as well, it's kind of related to the splittering itself, is something called render decoupling. And what it is, the gist of it is now when you like in Resonite, you don't. Because we now have like the Flux engine and the Unity render separated into two processes. The render, if it sees that like the engine send it a new frame, it will just re-render whatever the previous state is. And what it does, in case of any spikes, it actually makes things feel a lot smoother because while everything, like all the sort of interactions in your avatar will freeze, if you're in VR, your rendering doesn't freeze, so you can still kind of like, look around and things kind of feel smooth. And also, if you're playing video, so for example, you're doing like a watch party, the video will keep playing, so like you don't get interrupted by the spikes. And generally the feedback we've gotten is like that it feels, especially in VR, it feels really good because it sort of smooths over any like, spikes and hitches that might happen and overall kind of improves the experience, of like using Resonite in VR. I have like a video that I can showcase because we don't want to do like a live demonstration, but that will take like a little bit of setup. But in this video, Hello.
Uh,
I'm actually gonna lower it. Actually, I can keep it. No, I'm gonna narrate it over. This is literally actual piece of code. I actually put like code like where it's like in the comments. It says like if lagging, don't. Um, because it kind of like does that in a sense, like something's still lag, but like literally the render checks, oh, is the main process lagging? Then I'm gonna not lag. I'm just gonna kind of keep rendering. And I have a little contraption that causes a lag, and I have a video playing there as well for demonstration. And when I click the button, I lag. You can see my avatar freezes. I get this like out of body experience, but the video keeps playing, and I can keep looking around. So it no longer does this thing like where your view freezes and it kind of feels blah. So this feature, it helps. It kind of builds upon the splitting and helps make things feel even smoother, and less kind of like hitchy, and improves like watch parties like whenever like watching videos or movies together. You can also configure it. There's some settings for it, so you can configure when it activates. You can configure how long it activates for, and you also have a setting where you can actually force the render and engine to decouple, which means the render will just keep rendering. It'll never wait. It'll sort of like run asynchronously. And generally, we don't recommend doing that for normal usage because it doesn't actually feel that good in VR because like everything becomes very jittery. However, it is good like for experimentation. It's also good for determining if you're currently CPU bound or GPU bound. Because if you toggle that setting on, and your frame rate increases, that means you're CPU bound because the render can just keep pushing frames more. But if your FPS doesn't change super much, that means you're kind of like very likely GPU bound. So feel free to kind of experiment with it, but the normal decoupling is just on by default, and should make things like feel a lot smoother. So how I mentioned, we now have when there's Resonite lags, it doesn't. One of the planned features that's going to be built upon the splitting is render recovery. So if the render crashes, it will just be restarted, and that's clearly not implemented yet. But once that is, we'll also make it when there's an crashes, it doesn't. So that's one of the things you can look forward to in the upcoming weeks as well. That could help like with cases like this when the render might have like some issues, like whether it's like hardware, VR, or whatever kind of causes it to like crash. We're in a unique position where, thanks to the multiprocess architecture, we'll actually be able to recover that. And once the render reboots, you essentially won't be able to see anything for a little bit. You'll be able to still hear and talk. But once the render comes back in, you'll be able to like see again, and you'll just be right where you left off. We also have a number of like improvements, like for the metrics. Pro Prime, like he loves the graphs, and he's made like all of like really cool visualizations, and there's some like new additions there as well. So if you want to check out like the metrics for Resonite, just go to metrics.resonite.com, and you can find a lot of like really cool statistics. There's also been improvements to the go.resonite.com website, which allows you to preview worlds and like join worlds through the web from like a web browser. It now has like a number of kind of community contributions, which also includes the 360 preview, the same way it's kind of in Resonite, rather than just like showing it sort of unfolded. So there's been like a number of cool quality of life improvements there as well.
Should embed that as well if you post a link in, say, like Discord. That way, if you send a Resonite.go link to an open session, they can see the actual world preview in that message as well.
Yes. Oh yeah, it's very fancy. And there's also been some like improvements to the inspector, like just kind of like some small ones, like with the ability to like easily kind of toggle like whether objects are active or not without having to open them. So it kind of covers pretty much everything for the smaller improvements, with a lot more to come, which means we can move to the next topic, which is gonna be a session that's gonna be happening in 25 minutes called Cram the Sesh. So what is this? This is essentially like a party. It's gonna be like it's gonna be music. It's gonna be good vibes. It's in this events facets too, so you can kind of find it there. If you're on there tonight, feel free to join. We're essentially trying to get like a bunch of people and just sort of enjoy the Friday. is also in collaboration like with VIA for like one of the promotional videos, which we'll also be getting into soon. But essentially, feel free to join. Feel free to have a good time. It is not a. I was gonna mention it's not a stress test. We're like not trying to like just stress things out, but we're still trying to get like lots of people and have a lot of like fun with the session. So. Right after the stream ends, about 25 minutes, this event starts. So please join if you can. With that, we can move to our last thing, which is the business office hours, where you can learn more about our business from our finance officer, Bob.
Hey everyone, glad to be here for another recap stream. For the past couple of weeks, I've been having the splitting headache. It's like my brain has been crammed with way too much good news. The only way to relieve the pressure is to verbally exhale it at you via PowerPoint slides and Excel spreadsheets. So let's hop right into the first slide, showing the size of our user base and new user acquisition over the past 6 months. Number go up good. This is just the start, though.
Number up.
The splitting happened mid-month, and only one of the sponsored videos was released. Our hope is that we're going to be going up to 3,000 per month, and 4,000, and 5,000 per month. This number is unique new activations on Steam. So it isn't counting people who downloaded Resonite in the past and are returning now. There's been about 85,000 unique downloads, but almost 250,000 total downloads. So the average user is downloading Resonite like 2.5 times. Overall, we're seeing about a 50% increase in daily active users and concurrent users, largely around the existing user base. This is filling us with confidence that new user retention will be higher as we put in place numerous things that will assist with that. The number one thing each of you can do as part of the Resonite community is to keep welcoming new players. Focus on getting players orientated quickly and then shifting to having fun inside exciting worlds and playing with new toys. So, okay, let's go to our next slide where we have the 6-month breakdown of our business to consumer revenue. There was a noticeable uptick in revenue and a significant drop in fees as people are shifting from Patreon to Stripe. While this graph kind of shows our B2C revenue, after the splitting, we received numerous business inquiries by research institutions and corporations in the US, Europe, and Asia. We can now confidently say that Resonite can function on lower-end machines, allowing students and corporate wage slaves to use Resonite more easily for education and business. On this next slide, we'll be covering the percentage of our subscribers. You may have already, there's been a steady march upward over the revenue from Patreon moving to Stripe and PayPal. We've crossed the 1/3 threshold, and my hope is to break 50% by end of year. The frustrating part is there are a lot of people on the $1 tier on Patreon that could save themselves and Resonite money by switching to Stripe for $10 per year. This will save $2 for them, while Resonite will make $1 more. It's easy for me to speak to a handful of our most generous subscribers and convince them to make the transition, but we're going to rely on all of your support to talk to your friends about making the switch if they have not already. Let's go to the last slide, where I wanted to do a special shout out to influencers who we have sponsored. You may have already seen Genghis VR and JBrat's videos that have gone up over the past couple of weeks. Combined, they're totaling almost 100,000 impressions and 6,000 engagements and climbing. We have Fia doing an event in Resonite pretty much like right now, and hopefully you guys will join that after the recap stream. And then she's, of course, also going to be doing 2 videos this year, not just 1, but 2 videos. We also have our old favorites, Tavo and Resh, coming back with videos of their own. Additionally, not to spoil any surprises, but we also have signed 5 more influencers that'll be releasing their videos in the next month or so, so keep on the lookout. And we also have one super special person that's not sponsored, but verbally committed to doing something this year, and I'm definitely not spoiling that one. Whenever we make an announcement on Discord, be sure to click on the link and comment right away. Boosting their engagement early helps push visibility in the algorithm and gets us more impressions, more downloads, and more subscribers. Okay, that's all I have for now. Stay tuned for next month to see numbers go up.
Yes. Thank you very much for the updates, Bob. And it's very exciting. Just like seeing stuff kind of starting to uptake. We definitely need like a lot of your help, a lot of word of mouth, like talking about Resonite on socials. And we have seen like a lot of people, showcase a lot of splitting stuff, a lot of cool events and things they've been building. So please keep doing that. Do that as much as you can because it helps us grow. It helps us implement more features and helps to do stuff like the splitting. So yes, thank you very much. With this, we are through our main topics. So we're gonna open this up to any questions from the chat. If you'd like to ask us anything, whether it's with this update or just in general with the team, send a message in the Twitch and make sure to put a question mark at the end of it. That way it kind of pops on our thing here and we make sure to get it. So with that, let's get started on the questions. Josunowo is asking why are people switching to Stripe? It's because with Stripe takes significantly less fees. So even if you pay the same amount that you do on Patreon, we get about 10% more, and we can use that money to help improving Resonite more than we can with Patreon.
In about 30 seconds, I'm going to have an Excel slide. Wait a second.
Yeah.
Because you know me, I like my Excel slides. So give me take just a quick screenshot, copy, and paste into here, image, get it loaded, fees by source.
Okay, let me get that close to
Yeah.
camera right there, Bob.
So you can see how much Patreon takes versus Stripe and PayPal.
Big difference.
Less.
Yeah.
Look
Yes.
at those savings.
Yeah,
Yeah.
savings.
Look how much money you give us
And
when you swap.
what's great is that's just pure profit. It's not like increasing pure profit is even better than increasing revenue.
Next question's from Nikikun. When you hire influencers, what sort of instructions do you give them?
I'll take that question.
Yes.
It is really, really, really important that we give our influencers complete artistic liberty to create a video that's in brand for their style of videos. So we give them extremely loose instructions, mostly just hey, mention Resonite in the title. Mention that we do subscriptions and have a link that a marketing affiliate link that we give them. Don't get demonetized on YouTube, that sort of stuff. A lot of the normal stuff. We do complete artistic freedom. We give a deposit up front based off of how we think their typical video does, and then we also give them performance incentives. And we help promote their videos, via posting on Discord and doing other things to help, kind of boost them in the algorithm. So we look at, the working with influencers as a partnership to make them succeed and have their videos help Resonate succeed. If you know influencers, tell them to message us. We are in the market of sponsoring more of them, and we want to keep sponsoring as many as we can get our hands on that will be able to create high quality content that will bring more people onto our platform.
Archie Roby's asking, I've never gotten on Resonite, but I had it installed for a long while. How do I upload my personal avatar? Can I use Unity as in VRC? So you cannot use Unity officially. The way stuff happens in Resonite is you actually do stuff in-game. But you can import things just kind of by drag and dropping them onto the Resonite window or using the built-in file browser. Usually what we recommend is actually using the ResPack system, so because if you can find a Resonite package, that's going to make the whole process significantly easier. So if there's a Resonite package, you usually just drag that drop in, and then your avatar pops in, and as we've seen earlier, it's very, I don't think we have it anymore. It's very easy to configure.
Yep. I replied to this person, hi, hello, my name's Decoy. Add me if you need any help with avatars. But it's very easy. You just drag and drop them into the folder into Resonite, and you got your avatar. If there's a Resonite package, and it's literally drag and drop, you don't have to do anything else. Yep, just like that. You'll see this little menu right here, and then you click 3D model, bada bing. And also, we have plenty of mentors to help around, plenty of people. You can hop into any session and ask for help. We love new people. We love helping. So-
Just want to point out that mentors will have a green light bulb above their head as one of their icons tags. What are they called again?
I can actually show
bulbs?
exactly what it looks like.
Badges,
Yeah, a little
badges, there
badge
we go.
here. Let me turn on the badges real quick, and I'll smooth POV over on decoy. So the badge
We
is
have the
gonna
help
look
tab.
it's right here. Also, yeah, there's the help tab that shows the mentor badge.
The help tab.
It's a little light bulb.
Yeah, if you see the blue police badge, that's the popo, so you better watch out.
Behave.
But yeah, feel free, like, to ask, like, people, like, for help, like, if you need to, like, our mentor community, or even just, like, our community in general, people are, like, super happy to help, like, new users.
Everyone is helpful. Ask anybody, especially if they're a mentor. But if not, they're still very helpful. Use them. They're free.
You know-
You can just take them home.
Yeah. So thank you everyone for joining us for this recap stream. We had a lot of, like, really cool updates. Pretty much the biggest update we've ever done. There's a lot of great other things, like we got the help tab, we got all the tools, we got the respec, like a lot more things to sort of culminated in this, like, super big update, and we've done it thanks to your support. Whether you're just playing, Resonite, being part of the community, whether you're building cool stuff on the platform, or if you're supporting us, financially, if you're supporting us by spreading the word on social media, whatever you do, it helps us. Thank you so much. Thank you for watching the stream.
It's happening.
And we'll
It's
see
happening.
you.
It's happening right now. It's
Oh
happening.
my god, but he's literally there.
happening.
He's
It's
literally
happening.
there. He
Rats.
literally went to the
I'm
event. It's
releasing
like
the rats.
happening
It is
now.
happening.
It's,
Oh,
my god,
no.
it's happening. Think, join
A moment like that.
join our office hours, support us more, switch to Stripe if you're on Patreon, or just
Thank you,
switch to
everyone. You're all so
social Slack
amazing.
we
Thank you
can.
for stopping by.
Thank you. Bye.
See you at the event. Cram the sesh. Go cram the sesh.
Cram the session.
Round the-